Hi Sarah, thank you so much for joining me today at the Customer Experience Exchange for Retail. Could you just tell us a little bit more about your job as Luxury Director for Shop Direct?
So I joined Shop Direct at the end of last year. I'm on board to launch a whole new standalone site which is focused towards luxury and the accessible luxury market for women's fashion and beauty.
Okay, so Sarah, you've had a hugely successful career to date, but what do you think are the main key points really of the differences to operating online to offline?
I've had both experiences and originally I started with a bricks and mortar store and then I moved my bricks and mortar store to online. And I think the one thing that I've recognised and I've realised through both of those channels is that essentially the one true core sort of element is the customer. So how you communicate with that customer, how you build that relationship, how you build loyalty, personalisation, is the key part to a bricks and mortar and a pure play.
And what would you say is the most effective way to map a customer journey online?
I think it's really interesting because when I moved from my bricks and mortar store, my boutique, where I knew the customer so well, I knew who she was, I knew every part of her life, to then moving to online, I felt, oh my God, I'm now completely, I know nothing about her. She's invisible to me. But actually what I learned very quickly is the analytics and the data that we have in terms of understanding where she goes on the site, how long she stays, what she buys, what she returns, all those kind of various elements of that site experience is hugely valuable to ensure that we can optimise that personalised experience. And I think sometimes when we talk about personalised, we do over sweat it. It's about making sure that we talk to her or him about what's truly relevant to them and what's important and what they want.
And going on from that, what would you say are the key elements of delivering a high personalisation throughout your websites?
I think the online experience is really, really important. I think it's understanding or having a strong voice, but then also having a very strong understanding of who your customer is. And I think that's just important, full stop, in retail. But actually, in terms of personalisation, it's even more important. It's about always kind of being up to date with what's important to the customer because that's forever evolving. And so that's one of the most important things.
And in your mind, what is the true holy grail of customer experience? And can a company ever truly achieve this?
I think the holy grail is actually personalisation because it's about knowing what the customer wants from the various channel that she's coming to. And I think when you have a multi-channel business, it's about understanding the experience she wants in store versus the experience she wants online versus the experience she wants on mobile. And they're all very, very different. So yeah, I think personalisation is really the holy grail in terms of really sort of having that solid customer experience.
And finally, what are the three key elements which compose a customer experience strategy?
I think it's about a very strong product proposition that's completely relevant to your audience. I think it's about an exceptional customer experience online or in store, be it on the product side, be it on the customer service side, be it on that sort of browsing part. And then the final part, which is really important, is the after sales. It's about the returns. It's about managing that communication, managing that process, which sometimes can be a huge barrier as to why someone will come back. If that returns process has been a really kind of painful experience for the customer, they just won't come back. And I think sometimes that's forgotten. And we can see in large retailers who are so large that they're uncontactable. It's a huge problem for the customer. Now, especially with social, you can't afford for your customer to be too vocal because it becomes another issue you need to manage.